Okay, so you're prepping for a mine planning engineer interview.
That's great.
That's exciting.
Yeah,
We're diving deep into RoleCatcher's resources to help you nail it.
absolutely.
This is a field where you can really make a difference,
Yeah,
designing the mines of the future
yeah.
and making sure we get the resources we need sustainably.
Yeah, it's a blend of engineering geology and increasingly a deep understanding of environmental and social impact.
Exactly. So let's get you ready to impress.
Yeah?
We'll tackle some common interview questions and give you some insider strategies.
Okay.
Plus, we'll sprinkle in some career insights from RoleCatcher's guides to give you a broader perspective.
Sounds good. Let's start with a question.
Okay.
You're almost guaranteed to encounter in an interview.
Okay.
Can you explain the steps you would take to design a mine plan?
Okay, so they're not just looking for a list of steps here.
No, they want to see if you grasp the whole process, the why behind each step.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine you're explaining this to someone who's never seen a mine before. You'd start with understanding the deposit itself.
Okay.
That's where geological modeling comes in.
Geological modeling. Could you break that down a bit?
Sure, it's essentially creating a 3D representation of the ore body, its size, shape,
Okay.
and the quality of the ore,
Okay.
what we call ore grade.
Yeah.
This model is the foundation of your entire mine plan.
Got it. So it tells you where the valuable stuff is.
Yes,
And how much of it there is.
exactly.
That's next.
Then you move into resource estimation,
Okay.
which uses the geological model to calculate the total amount of ore you can potentially extract.
Okay.
This is crucial for determining the mine's economic viability.
So you know if it's even worth digging up in the first place.
Yes, exactly.
Makes sense.
Then comes the exciting part,
Okay.
designing the pit itself.
All right.
This is where you factor in things like the surrounding topography, geotechnical considerations, basically how stable the ground is,
Okay.
and of course environmental regulations.
Wow, there's a lot to consider.
Yes.
And I bet software like Whittle comes into play here, right?
Absolutely.
I've seen that mentioned in the RoleCatcher guides.
Whittle is a powerful tool for optimizing pit design,
Okay.
helping you maximize ore recovery while minimizing waste and cost.
Okay.
You'll want to be prepared to discuss your experience with this kind of software.
Okay, so I'd mentioned how I've used Whittle to create different pit scenarios, analyze their economic feasibility,
Exactly.
and choose the one that best balances production goals with environmental considerations.
Exactly. And don't forget the production schedule.
Yeah.
You need to outline the sequence of mining operations, the equipment you'll use, the workforce required, and the timeline for each phase of the project.
That's like the project management side of mine planning.
Yes,
And I bet there are a lot of potential follow-up questions here.
of course.
They might ask about how I'd handle unexpected delays
Yeah.
or changes in ore grade.
Exactly. Be prepared to think on your feet and showcase your problem-solving skills.
So for this first question alone, we've got geological modeling, resource estimation, pit design, production scheduling software like Whittle, and being ready for those curveballs.
That's right. It's about demonstrating a thorough understanding of the entire mine planning process.
And I think RoleCatcher's AI can be really helpful here.
Oh, absolutely.
You can practice your answer, get feedback on how clearly you're explaining the steps, and even tailor it to the specific company you're interviewing with.
That's a great point. RoleCatcher can help you identify which aspects of mine planning are most relevant to the company's projects
Okay.
and emphasize those in your answer.
Okay, so let's move on to another common question.
Okay.
How do you ensure that mine plans are optimized for maximum resource recovery while minimizing costs?
This question gets to the heart of your ability to balance competing priorities.
Right.
It's not just about getting the most ore out of the ground.
Right.
It's about doing it efficiently and responsibly.
So where do I even start with this one?
Well, you could begin by discussing your approach to analyzing costs. What factors would you consider when evaluating the economic feasibility of a mine plan?
Things like labor costs, equipment, maintenance, energy consumption, and the cost of processing the ore.
Right, exactly. You'll want to showcase your understanding of the key cost drivers in mining.
And then there's the resource recovery side.
Yes.
How do I show that I'm not just focused on costs, but also on maximizing the amount of valuable ore we extract?
This is where your knowledge of software like Deswick can be valuable.
Okay.
Deswick is a suite of tools for mine planning and operations, and it has specific modules for optimizing resource extraction.
So I could say something like, using Deswick's block modeling and scheduling tools, I can analyze different extraction sequences to find the most efficient way to recover the maximum amount of ore while minimizing waste.
That's a great example. You're demonstrating your familiarity with industry standard software and connecting it to a specific outcome,
Yep.
maximizing resource recovery.
And I bet there are potential follow-up questions here too.
Absolutely.
They might ask, What are some of the trade-offs you might encounter when trying to balance resource recovery and cost minimization?
Absolutely. They want to see if you can think critically and anticipate challenges.
Okay.
You might have to explain how you'd weigh environmental considerations against economic factors,
Mhm.
or how you'd communicate difficult trade-offs to stakeholders.
So it's not just about having the technical knowledge.
Right.
It's about being able to apply it in the complex real-world setting.
Precisely. And this is another area where RoleCatcher's AI can be a game changer.
Hmm?
You can practice answering these questions and get specific feedback on how to present your approach in a clear and concise way.
It's like having a personalized interview prep session tailored to the exact role you're applying for.
That's the power of RoleCatcher. Now let's move on to a question that's designed to assess your problem-solving skills.
Okay.
Can you describe a time when you had to resolve a complex planning issue on a mine site?
Okay, so this is where I get to tell a story, right?
Yes.
But not just any story.
Right.
It needs to highlight my ability to handle a tough situation.
That's right. Choose a real situation where you faced a significant challenge.
Okay.
Maybe unexpected ground conditions, a major equipment failure, or a sudden change in regulations.
And I'd walk them through my thought process.
Yes.
How I analyzed the problem,
Yeah.
the solutions I considered,
Uh-huh.
and how I made the final decision.
Okay.
Did I have to collaborate with other teams?
Yes.
Did I have to get creative and think outside the box?
Exactly. And don't forget to emphasize the positive outcome.
Okay.
How your actions effectively resolved the issue, minimized downtime, or kept the project on track.
So it's not just about the problem itself.
Right.
It's about how I demonstrated my problem-solving skills and achieved a positive result.
Precisely. And this is where your preparation can really pay off.
Okay.
Think about the challenges you've faced in your career and practice framing those experiences as STAR stories.
Store stories.
Situation, task, action, result.
That's a great reminder. RoleCatcher has a whole module on crafting compelling star stories for interview prep.
They do. It's a valuable resource for learning how to structure your responses in a way that highlights your skills and accomplishments.
All right, so we've covered 3 questions so far, and each one has layers to it.
They do.
It's not just about giving a quick answer.
Yeah.
It's about demonstrating a deep understanding of mind planning principles, problem-solving skills, and the ability to use software effectively.
That's right. And these are just the first few questions.
Okay.
We've got a lot more ground to cover.
Right. We've tackled a ton of interview questions already, and I'm feeling pretty confident about those.
Good.
But I'm curious about the bigger picture.
Sure.
What's it really like to be a mind planning engineer?
Right.
What are the challenges?
Yeah.
What kind of career path can I expect?
Those are great questions.
Yeah.
Definitely things you'll want to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond just acing the interview,
Yeah.
the mining industry is evolving rapidly.
Right.
And it's important to understand the trends shaping the role of a mine planning engineer.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So what are some of the biggest challenges mind planning engineers are facing these days?
Well, one of the biggest is balancing production goals with increasing environmental regulations and community expectations.
Right.
It's no longer enough to simply extract resources.
Yeah.
We need to do it sustainably.
I've definitely seen that theme come up a lot in the RoleCatcher guides.
Absolutely.
Sustainability is a huge focus.
Absolutely. And that means mine planning engineers are on the front lines of finding solutions for more sustainable mining practices.
Okay.
They're incorporating new technologies,
Okay.
innovative approaches to minimize waste, reduce water consumption, and rehabilitate mined lands.
So it's not just about designing a mine.
Right.
It's about designing a mine that's responsible and sustainable in the long term.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And this focus on sustainability is actually creating new opportunities for mine planning engineers. There's a growing demand for professionals who can integrate environmental and social considerations into mine plans from the very beginning.
That's good news for aspiring mine planning engineers.
Yes.
It sounds like a career with a bright future.
It definitely is. The demand for skilled mine planning engineers is expected to continue growing as the world needs more resources to support its growing population and technological advancements.
Speaking of technological advancements, how are those changing the role of a mine planning engineer?
Technology is having a massive impact on mining,
Mm-hmm.
and mine planning engineers are leading the way.
Oh.
They're using advanced software and data analytics
Okay.
to create more efficient and precise mine plans.
Right.
The RoleCatcher guys mentioned 3D modeling tools, for example.
Yes. How are those being used in mine planning?
3D modeling is revolutionizing the field.
Wow.
It allows engineers to visualize the entire mine in incredible detail,
Okay.
from the ore body to the surrounding environment.
Mm.
They can use these models to optimize pit designs, plan underground excavations, and assess potential risks before even breaking ground.
So it's like having a virtual blueprint of the whole mine,
Yes,
which helps improve efficiency, reduce costs, and minimize environmental impact.
exactly. And this means mine planning engineers need to be pretty tech savvy these days.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Proficiency in those specialized software programs is a must-have.
absolutely. And it's not just about knowing how to use the software.
Right.
It's about understanding the underlying principles and being able to interpret the data it produces.
So it's a combination of technical skills and analytical thinking.
Precisely. And let's not forget the importance of communication and teamwork.
Yeah.
Mine planning engineers work closely with geologists, engineers, environmental specialists, and other professionals.
Right.
Being able to communicate effectively and collaborate as part of a team is crucial for success.
That's a good reminder that soft skills are just as important as technical skills in any engineering role.
Absolutely. Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about career advancement. What are some pathways for mine planning engineers to grow and develop their careers?
Well, the RoleCatcher guides mentioned that as mine planning engineers gain experience,
Yes.
they can move into management positions,
Yes.
leading teams, overseeing bigger projects,
Mhm.
or even getting involved in strategic planning for mining operations.
That's right. And they can also choose to specialize in a particular area of mine planning,
Oh, okay.
such as open pit mining, underground mining, or mine closure and reclamation.
Okay.
Each of those has its own unique challenges and opportunities.
So there are opportunities to climb the ladder or become a real expert in a niche area?
Exactly. And it's essential to keep learning and developing your skills throughout your career.
Okay.
The mining industry is constantly evolving.
Right.
So staying up to date with new technologies and best practices is crucial for long-term success.
RoleCatcher emphasized the value of pursuing professional certifications.
Yes.
Do you have any recommendations for certifications that would be particularly beneficial for mine planning engineers?
Absolutely. Okay. There are several valuable certifications you could consider.
Okay.
The Professional Engineer (PE) license is widely recognized
Okay.
and demonstrates your competence and commitment to ethical practice.
I've also heard of the Certified Mine Safety Professional (CMSP) certification.
Yeah.
Is that one worth looking into?
Definitely safety is paramount in the mining industry.
Right.
And the CMSP certification shows you have the knowledge and skills to identify and mitigate safety hazards.
So it not only enhances your professional credibility,
Right.
but also demonstrates your commitment to safety,
Yes,
which is a top priority for any mining company.
exactly. Other certifications worth exploring include the Certified Professional in Mining, CPM, and the Certified Mine Manager, CMM.
Okay.
These are specific to the mining industry and demonstrate your expertise in different aspects of mining operations.
Wow. Sounds like there are plenty of options for mine planning engineers to boost their qualifications and advance their careers.
There definitely are. And it's not just about formal education and certifications. Participating in industry conferences, workshops, and online courses can also help you stay sharp and develop new skills.
And of course, RoleCatcher offers a ton of resources for career development,
Absolutely.
including their AI-powered tools for resume tailoring, interview practice, and career path exploration.
Absolutely. RoleCatcher is an excellent resource for anyone looking to launch or advance a career in mine planning.
Okay.
Their platform is constantly updated with the latest industry trends and job opportunities.
Now, before we jump into the final part of our deep dive,
Okay.
I wanted to touch on a topic that's often associated with mining,
Mm-hmm.
the impact on local communities.
That's a crucial point.
Yeah.
Mining projects can have both positive and negative impacts on nearby communities.
All right.
It's important for mine planning engineers to be aware of these impacts
Okay.
and incorporate strategies to mitigate any negative consequences.
For example, they might need to address concerns about noise pollution, dust, or increased traffic.
Exactly. And they might also need to develop plans for community engagement and benefits sharing. Okay.
This could involve working with local communities to create job opportunities, invest in infrastructure, or support social programs.
So it's not just about extracting resources.
Right.
It's about doing so in a way that benefits both the company and the communities where mining takes place.
Precisely. And this focus on community engagement is becoming increasingly important as mining companies seek to build trust and maintain their social license to operate.
It sounds like a challenging but also rewarding aspect of being a mine planning engineer.
It definitely is.
Okay.
Now, as we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Okay.
let's do a quick recap.
Okay.
We explored some of the key challenges and opportunities facing mine planning engineers today, highlighting the increasing importance of sustainability technology and community engagement.
We also discussed various pathways for career advancement,
Yes.
emphasizing continuous learning, professional certifications,
Right.
and active participation in the industry.
Exactly. Now, in the final part of our deep dive,
We'll focus on some specific strategies and resources to help you ace your mine planning engineer interview and launch a successful career in this exciting field.
all right, we've covered the big picture of what it means to be a mine planning engineer,
Yeah.
the challenges, the opportunities, and we've even tackled a bunch of those tough interview questions.
Absolutely.
Now let's get down to brass tacks.
Okay.
How do I actually ace that interview and land the job?
That's the goal. We've laid the groundwork. So now it's all about putting your best foot forward.
So where do we begin? What are the key things to remember as I prepare for a mine planning engineer interview?
Well, it might sound obvious, but research is paramount.
Okay.
Spend time on the company's website, dive into their projects,
Right.
understand their values and their approach to things like sustainability.
Okay.
The more you know, the better you can tailor your answers and demonstrate genuine interest.
It's like showing them you've done your homework.
Yes.
And you're not just applying to any mine planning job. You're interested in their company specifically.
Exactly. Now remember all those interview questions we dissected.
Yeah.
Practice your responses out loud.
Okay.
Even if it feels a bit awkward at first,
Mm-hmm.
trust me, it makes a huge difference.
I'm a big believer in practicing out loud. It helps refine your answers, find any gaps in your knowledge,
Yeah.
and build that all-important confidence.
And this is where RoleCatcher's AI tools can be incredibly helpful.
Oh, great.
You can use their platform to practice answering those tough questions
Okay.
and get personalized feedback to improve both your delivery and content.
It's like having a virtual interview coach,
Exactly.
which I love because
Yeah.
RoleCatcher combines human expertise with AI
Yeah.
for that well-rounded support.
It's a powerful combination. Now let's talk about showcasing your technical skills.
Okay.
Mine planning engineers rely on specialized software.
Right.
So be ready to discuss your proficiency in programs like Whittle Deswick Vulkan or Serpac.
And I know it's not enough to just say I'm proficient in Whittle.
Right.
We need to back that up with concrete examples, right?
Absolutely. Think back to specific projects where you utilized these tools effectively.
Right.
Did you optimize a pit design?
Uh-huh.
Develop a complex production schedule?
Okay.
Quantify the impact of your work whenever possible?
Numbers speak volumes. It's
Mhm.
much more powerful to say, using Deswick, I reduced ore haulage costs by 15%
Yes, exactly.
than to simply state familiarity with the software.
Exactly. Now let's move on to something often overlooked.
Okay.
Behavioral questions.
Okay.
These are the ones that dig into your past experiences to assess soft skills,
Great.
teamwork, leadership, problem solving, and communication.
The classic, tell me about a time you faced a challenge type of questions.
Precisely. These can be tricky
Yeah.
because there's no single right answer.
Right.
The key is using the STAR method to structure your response.
Okay.
Situation, task, action, result.
Right. The STAR method. RoleCatcher has a fantastic module on crafting compelling STAR stories,
Nice.
so we can definitely point our listeners to that.
Absolutely. It's a valuable resource.
Okay.
Walk the interviewer through the situation, the task you had, the actions you took, and the results you achieved.
Okay.
It paints a clear picture.
So it's about storytelling.
Yes.
But in a concise and impactful way
Yeah.
that highlights my skills and how I handle real-world situations.
Exactly. And here's another tip.
Okay.
Anticipate those follow-up questions.
Okay.
Interviewers will often probe deeper to assess your thought process.
So if I'm describing optimizing a mine plan, they might ask, what were some trade-offs you considered?
Hmm.
Or how did you get buy-in from stakeholders?
Those are great examples. Think about potential follow-up questions for each of your STAR stories.
Okay.
Be prepared to elaborate on your decisions and the reasoning behind them.
Okay, so it's not just having the initial story. It's being able to go deeper and show I can think critically and handle those curveballs.
Exactly. And finally, something that can't be overstated.
Okay.
Enthusiasm matters.
Okay.
Mine planning is challenging but rewarding, and your passion for it should be evident in the interview.
I love that point. Genuine enthusiasm is contagious.
It is. Show them you're eager to learn to contribute, to be a part of this dynamic industry.
Right?
Use RoleCatcher to research the company's specific areas of focus
Oh,
and weave that knowledge into your answers to show how your enthusiasm aligns with their work.
that's such great advice. Okay, we've covered a lot in this deep dive.
We have.
Anything else you want to leave our listeners with as they get ready for their interviews?
Remember, interviewing is a skill that takes practice. The
Mhm.
more you practice, the more comfortable and confident you'll become.
And don't forget about all the resources out there to help, especially RoleCatcher.
Absolutely.
They've got everything you need to research companies, tailor your resume, practice those answers, and even get noticed by the right people.
Absolutely. Take advantage of those tools and expertise,
Yeah.
and you'll be well on your way to that dream mind planning engineer role.
So to wrap things up, research practice, showcase those skills, and let your enthusiasm shine through.
And remember, every interview is a learning experience,
Wow.
even if it doesn't lead to a job offer.
Right.
Take that feedback and use it to improve for next time.
That's such a great point. The mining industry needs talented, passionate mine planning engineers,
Yes,
and I have no doubt that our listeners have what it takes.
I agree. Best of luck to everyone on their job search journey.
And that concludes our deep dive into becoming a mine planning engineer. We hope this episode was helpful and packed with insights. Be sure to check out RoleCatcher for more incredible resources to help you on your career path. Thanks for joining us.